Shabbat Shalom, everyone on Zoom. It's great to see all of you. We're going to start in about 30 seconds as people enter the room. Gives me an opportunity to go into gallery view and kind of scan through. Rob and Lisa Mazel Tov, I see you on my screen. A wedding last weekend. It's great to see everybody on this beautiful day. A lot of people are outside. The sun is shining. And I guess this is one of the longest days of the year as we move to June 21st. So we get to drink up the sunlight. So Cantor Sufrin is in the sanctuary as well as Rabbi Sherman. Cantor Zell is still on her honeymoon. And Ryan, I'm so thrilled that you're sitting in, looks like the Cantor's office, or is that my office? That's Cantor's.
The Cantor's office. I had to keep it warm. It's lonely. Lonely in this office.
Let's begin with a nigun. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is great to see you. Let's begin as we always do with a heart tap. Since we can see each other, perhaps go into gallery view and wave to those to your right and to your left, wishing them a Zoom Shabbat Shalom. Once again, we're experimenting in the month of June, having people in the sanctuary where Rabbi Sherman is, along with Cantor Sufrin. Cantor Zell is on her honeymoon, and then all of us on Zoom. And we have a guest speaker who I'm really looking forward to this evening, who is actually coming in to us on Zoom as well, and will be projected in the sanctuary. So we're trying this blend of being together, whether it be at Temple Beth Elohim or from far and wide. Most importantly, we're here to celebrate Shabbat. This weekend, of course, is a big one. It's, I guess I can say, happy Juneteenth, as we know now, a national holiday. And we know as a Jewish people that pursuit of freedom for all is ingrained in the life of our people. It is critical to who we are as Jews. Of course, as we all know, on that journey to freedom, that journey to the land of promise, we need to refresh. And that comes each and every week with the gift of Shabbat, a time to rest and reflect and gain strength for the work ahead and the journey. And so let's take a deep breath. And we're going to now join those in the sanctuary and celebrate.
So let us bring forth the light as we greet Shabbat with joy and celebration as we join together in this blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher וקדישנו במצוותיו וציוונו לאחד לקנה של שבת.
We continue page 142 with words of Shalom Aleichem, bringing in God's angels of peace, God's angels of blessing and love.
שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי העליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי העליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We join together on page 138 to officially welcome the Sabbath bride, to bring Sabbath both into our hearts with our family in here in this community, in our community on Zoom. We join together to officially welcome Shabbat.
שמור וזכור בדיבורך, ישמענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת בלי תהילה לך דודי, לקראת כלה פני שבת נקרא לכוון אלך כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם ניסוחה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי 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 כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי לי יאללה לי בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצורה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לי 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 יאללה לה 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 לך דודי יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה יאללה לה 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 לך דודי יאללה לה לה לקראת כלה יאללה לה לה פני שבת
You may be seated. Now that we have brought Shabbat in officially to our community, we join together on page 152 for a moment of grounding, of centering, of listening as we join for the words of Shema.
Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vayed.
Let's join together now for our Hashkivenu prayer. Let there be love, a prayer that asks for peace, understanding for each and every one of us in our community and for the whole world. So we'll join together on page 160 and invite up Zach to join us for Let There Be Love.
Let there be love, understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu,
Hashkivenu,
Adonai Eloheinu.
Eloheinu,
Hashkivenu, Lishalom. There be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter
From life's storm.
We've entered the center of our prayer service, the Amidah. We'll join together on page 164 for these words. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. God, open up my lips so I can declare your praise. In a moment, I will invite you to rise, whether in body or in spirit, but ask you to think in this time about some gratitude that you are holding on to this week and what gratitude you want to bring with you through the rest of Shabbat. I invite you, whether in body or in spirit, to rise as we join together in these sacred words.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la,
Ya la 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 la.
Let's take a moment of personal reflection and prayer. After you've completed your personal reflection, I invite you to find a seat or to situate yourselves with a little bit more intentionality. As we turn to page 377, this week Israel installed a new government. And so on this Shabbat, we want to offer a blessing that they and the land and the people within it are guided with wisdom and blessing. So let us join together. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And together we say, Amen. So we join together with a prayer for peace, page 178.
Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael v'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
So at this time, we continue our prayers for wholeness, moving from wholeness in the world, wholeness for peace in the world, to wholeness of body, of mind, of spirit, of soul. And so if you are thinking of someone in need of refuah shlema, a healing of mind, of body, or spirit, or soul, I invite you to rise if you're in our sanctuary. And if you're at home, I invite you to place those who you are thinking about on this Shabbat, put their names in the chat box, as we'll join together in just a moment in the words of Misha Berach on page 371.
Teinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us sing. Amen.
And of course, each week we give thanks to God for the sacred moments we've shared during the past week. I just want to welcome Arthur, who's with me on Zoom in our Zoom box. You can see him. He's going to be speaking really soon. But before we call him forward to speak to our community, we want to acknowledge those sacred moments. So if you've celebrated a birthday during the past week, if you can raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you as a birthday. And I want to give a special shout out to Don Benovitz, who is celebrating a big one, 80. So happy birthday, Don. How about another one that actually Don fits into, which is the gift of health. Don, I heard that you got a beautiful medical report, and so I'm just absolutely thrilled. Anyone else celebrating good health, new health? I'm so pleased. How about anniversaries? After all, it's the month of June. Deb, I see. The foxes as I move through the gallery. A busy month in June. How about just seeing someone again for the first time now that things are beginning to open up once again? Has anyone ventured into a location they hadn't in 15 months and felt finally comfortable to return? I guess that must have been a good feeling as well. Well, for all of these things, recognizing the passage of time and the beauty within it, let us give thanks to God as we join the cantor in the sanctuary.
Works too. I mean, so let us join together in words of Shehechianu, thanking God for all of these things that we celebrate.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. אמן.
And so tonight, we acknowledge that tomorrow will be June 19th, or Juneteenth, now a federal holiday. Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery in the southern states when General Granger and his Union troops pronounced the final decree of freedom in Galveston, Texas in 1865. 2.5 years after President Lincoln's signing of the Emancipation Proclamation had outlawed slavery. Until recently, Juneteenth was relatively unknown or rarely discussed. And while Juneteenth is now coming into focus for many across the nation, this has been a day that the Black community has traditionally celebrated and recognized for the past 155 years. Although the 13th Amendment was signed in December of 1865, we know that Black and brown people across our country have yet to experience freedom from the legacy of slavery, which continues to this day with its modern-day descendant, mass incarceration. And so I hope you will join us after services at 7:30 on Zoom for an extraordinary conversation on the powerful local efforts to support the freedom of young people at risk and those who have been incarcerated. In Pirkei Avot, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel Hayahu Omer, Al Shlosha Dvarim Ha'olam Omed. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel used to say, on three things the world stands: Al HaTzedek, Al HaEmet, or Al Hadin, Al HaEmet, Al HaShalom. On justice, on truth, and on peace. So in pursuit of these three foundational principles guiding all peoples toward shalom, our Racial Justice Initiative has deeply engaged with the work of combating mass incarceration in our state through advocacy work and through direct service through the Partakers program. Along with over 45 members of our community who already volunteer within the Partakers program, our eyes have been opened, our hearts have been widened to the realities of our criminal justice system and the work that we can do to help incarcerated individuals and ourselves learn and grow. And so before I introduce our speaker, is it possible to make sure that we have Arthur with us in the sanctuary? Great. All right. So as soon as, there we go. And so tonight I am grateful that we will learn from Arthur Bembury, the executive director of the Partakers College Behind Bars program and the new Partakers Empowerment Program, a reentry program. Arthur has been associated with Partakers for over 20 years, and under his leadership, Partakers has grown with over 400 mentors deeply engaged with students at correctional facilities throughout Massachusetts. Throughout his career, Arthur has experience with challenges facing marginalized populations, and he is driven to find practical and innovative solutions to reducing recidivism, changing lives, and strengthening communities. And so, Arthur, we are honored, so honored that you are here with us tonight.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for this invitation. I can't see everybody on the screen, but I can feel your warmth and your spirit in the room. I'm afraid if I click to see all 160 people, I'll mess up and I won't be able to get back to where I am, okay? So thank you, and guess what? Happy Juneteenth Day, okay? I am the executive director of Partakers, and I can't say enough about how happy and how grateful we are for the help of Temple Beth Elohim and your your justice committee, I think it's called the Social Justice Committee, for helping us to spread the word of the work that we do and also to grow our program. I want to let you know what we do and why it's so important, and I want to be aware of the time factor here. So I want to speak very quickly about the work that we do. We reduce recidivism by engaging community mentors from the greater Boston area to be matched with students that are incarcerated and enrolled in educational programs provided by Tufts University, Boston College, and Emerson. This connection is so important because it brings a sense of dignity to the students that are inside, and it allows them to start a relationship building skill that they can use when they transfer and segue back into the community. It is impactful because it makes an immediate change in the person's life. We have so many people from the community that are attached to our program that are matched with women and men that are incarcerated, that it changes their lives on a daily basis. I want to say that the mentors are the core of our program. We've been around for almost 25 years. Our success rate, we have a 2% recidivism rate. That's the rate that people return to prison. So in over 25 years, only 2% of the people involved in our program have returned to incarceration. So it's a very successful program. And I want to say that without the help of people like you, like yourselves that are watching, without the help of our mentors, we would not be able to grow the program. We would not be able to reach more people and change more lives. A lot of people may say, why is this work sacred? Why is it so important? It's important because it changes the narrative surrounding people that were formerly incarcerated or people that were impacted by the criminal justice system. It changes the structural policies outside of the penitentiary as far as in the workplace and colleges. Our collaborators are universities, Harvard University, the other universities that I mentioned, as well as many faith-based organizations throughout the greater Boston area. Temple Beth Elohim, for sure, Temple Israel. I don't know how to say this correctly, but I think it's Temple Dorsey Sedek. If I mess that up, you have my apologies. But I'm trying to get that T and that Z, and it just doesn't go that kind of thing, right? But your community has helped us to grow so much and so fast within the short amount of time that you've been involved with our program. So kudos out to Edith and Amy. If you don't know who Amy Benjamin is, those are the guys that keep us going and that spearhead our program along with our Rabbi Philip Thurman. One of the things that I'd like you to know is the scope of your involvement changes so many lives. It just doesn't touch the lives of the students, it's their families, it's the communities, it's their careers, and just so much can be done by the fact that you're connecting with them. I know that in the amount of time that I have to speak, I can't tell you everything that's so important, but I will tell you a little bit about my story. So I am the executive director of this program, but I started off as an incarcerated person in this particular program over 20 years ago. So I went to prison when I was 17, and while I was incarcerated, I became a member of the College Behind Bars prison education program at Boston University. And then upon coming home, they offered me a job working for this organization. And it was such a, to come full circle and to be able to reach back and provide opportunities for people that were inside that I had left behind, if you will, and to have them come out and to become engaged in programs and help them reach their fuller potential. For me, it's life-changing and it's altering also. But I want to say to you that it's so important that we have your involvement in the work that we do. It's because your voices are needed to change the narrative. Your voices are needed to help other people become agents of change. And when I say other people, I mean the people that have the power to actually make change. We need voices and we need help from everybody that is willing to look at the impact of incarceration and to be able to say that something needs to change. It's a social justice movement. It's been long coming, long overdue, and without your help, we're soldiers. This is what I call the new Civil War. So we're soldiers in the trenches, and we definitely need you with us. So if you can, anything that you can do to help support us in this movement, we're so grateful. And we look forward to nourishing this relationship too. I don't know if I've went over my time yet, so I'm gonna do a quick check. Okay, I'm okay. So if there's any questions that anybody has related to the program, we'll be meeting again shortly at about 7:45 this afternoon in another room. And if you have any more questions, if you'd like to come forward, we can give you a larger explanation of what it is that we do. And I'm so glad to see so many of you. I can't wait to come back and speak in front of your congregation, in front of your temple again, because I'm familiar with coming down to Temple Beth Elohim. And to see everybody on Zoom is fine, but I miss coming down there to the parking lot and coming through the hallway and doing all that. So we look forward to seeing you guys soon, okay? Shalom. Happy
Arthur,
Juneteenth.
Shabbat Shalom. Arthur, thank you so much. I miss seeing you too, but it's good to see you on Zoom, and we look forward to having you as a part of our panel discussion. I hope that you'll join us at 7:30 on a different Zoom link, which we'll put in the chat box.
Great. I'm almost speechless. But a song that was written as an interpretation of Aleinu, with the intention that we all have responsibility to make this world better. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the gifts we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hands, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the gifts we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hands, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace, and of peace.
If you can't join us at 7:30 and you're interested in learning more about the Partakers program, please reach out to me. We definitely need more volunteers. So thank you. So let us continue on page 586.
And we're going to continue on Zoom also with the words of Mourner's Kaddish. And as we do each week, we invite you, if you're a mourner in our midst, to please use the chat room below to record the names of those individuals you're remembering. And then I want to acknowledge the passing of Larry Bishop, the stepfather of Wendy Falchuk, Stuart Cooper, the father of Joshua Cooper, Roberta Duker, the mother of Jay Duker, Marjorie Frischberg, the mother of Julie Walkoff, Herbie Goldenberg, the father of Jill Goldenberg, and Myrna Hammerling, the mother of Jamie Byrne, all individuals who have passed during the past 30 days. We think of all those whose names are recorded in our chat room this evening, and I've been asked to name Joan Siegel, the aunt of Bob Schoen. With all of them in our hearts and minds, we continue with the words of Mourner's Kaddish. And so, Emily, if you're able to place those words up on the screen so that we can join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemerabah, v'yamad yivrach te v'yamlich malchute, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayed cho Beit Yisrael, v'galav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabam v'rach le'alam olamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei t'kursha b'reichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata. Ta'miran mi'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Before we continue with the words of Kaddish, I just want to acknowledge any of the mentors that have been tutoring for partakers this year. Perhaps you can even raise your hand if you're on Zoom with us. I see Bonnie, I see Amy, and I can't make my way through, so I apologize. Marcy, as I continue to make my way through. It's really quite an incredible program. If you don't know much about it and are curious, please join in at 7:30. It is a separate link, but we hope you can join us and perhaps you'll even choose to be a mentor. A few other announcements. Tomorrow is Minyan, of course. And then on Saturday evening, 6:30 p.m., there is also a Havdalah, a prime timers picnic and Havdalah. Monday night, we have our GBIO regional caucus. That's at 7 o'clock. And also at 7:30, there's a meeting for an upcoming family trip to Israel, summer 2022. So if you're thinking of a family trip, especially with a bar mitzvah, we invite you to join Rabbi Sapphire. We also want you to consider some Israel trips coming up. If there's interest, there may be a brief solidarity mission to Israel the first week in August. But there certainly will be trips to Israel in October and November, a music trip in mid-October, and then I'll be leading a group leaving October 31st to November 10th. That was a typo in today's announcements. But if you're interested in a trip with a deep dive into the politics and culture of Israel, we hope you'll consider an upcoming trip with TVE. Tuesday night, there is a Pride conversation with Rabbi Rachel Isaacs, the first openly lesbian rabbi ordained by the Jewish Theological Seminary in celebration of Pride Month. On Sunday, there's Holy Schwitz, our Peloton riders. And then every day there's the Summer Institute. We just started this past week. I know that many of you joined in. Attendance was really high throughout. And we had some great courses during the day and during the evening. And we hope you'll check it out every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I believe. So lots going on throughout the summer. It's pretty amazing to see what's taking place in this community. It's really quite extraordinary. I hope you'll come back with us at 7:30. But for now, if you have a cup of wine or juice or fruit of the vine, we invite you to raise it up, which grants Emily permission to spotlight you so that we can see different people. Oh, we should have you singing Kiddush instead of me in the sanctuary, but I guess I'll spare you. So if you'll hold that cup of wine, and since we can only hear one voice, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahavav ratzon hinkilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim, amen. L'chaim, l'chaim, Amy. It's only appropriate that we end on you, right, on this night of the partakers. Now, if you have a challah, If you can hold up a challah, and Emily, maybe we can highlight someone with a challah as we say motzi, and then we'll open up the microphones and greet one another. Shabbat shalom. So here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon. Harriet and Mel, that challah looks familiar. Take a bite. And now we can open up the microphones and say Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Great to see all of you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Bonnie.
Shabbat Shalom, Margie.
Happy
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Marcy.
Shabbat Shalom, Marilyn.
Shabbat Shalom, Miss. Shalom, Nancy.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Here's my diaper. Hi, Shabbat Shalom.
Say bye.
What's that? I have no idea what it is.